Gotcha. I can't see Anika. Hey, Anika.
Hi, everybody. It's Wendy and Risikat Okedeyi from Lil So So Productions, and it's Anika Hobbs from Nubian Hueman.
Hello.
So we are here in the sanctuary, but this time we're in the flow. As you can see, it's 7:07 because we were flowing and just talking and, you know, just being easy breezy. So we welcome you here to the sanctuary, and I wanted to share with you an amazing event that's coming to Washington, D.C. area on March 23rd. And so I brought the visionaries and the people who put it all together here to share more about it. So first, I have Risikat Okedeyi. And so she has like the best bio ever because it was to the point. She was like, Kat is a cultural architect and professor who grounds all that she does in the essence of divine spirit. Period. So,
Period.
Yeah, period. And so I love that. So I'm about to call my bio too soon. So
look, I'm Marie Kondo'd it. So I was like, let's,
yes,
only the parts that give me joy.
Yes, right. And so joy, we're gonna stay on that subject. So then I have my sorority sister, Anika Hobbs. And so right after college, she first joined one of the world's leading fashion retail companies when it was in its infancy. But since then, she's traveled the world, and that allowed her to develop her understanding of community, service, customer service, and design. And in 2012, she launched her first entrepreneurial endeavor, Nubian Hueman. And I love that name. So I'm going to ask you where you came up with that name. I love that name. And she serves as the owner and chief curator. And Nubian Hueman is a social enterprise that specializes in sourcing and curating unique goods, fashion and art by designers representing the global diaspora. And Nubian Hueman has partnered with close to 400 artists and designers from 6 different continents and over 25 countries. And they have been awarded for their social impact and even honored by President Obama and the Washington Post and Forbes. So it's so awesome to have you ladies here. Thank you for your time. And I love going into Nubian Hueman. It feels good. I even had an event there before because I just love to bring people there who don't know anything about it. So let's start with you, Anika. Let's talk about how you were inspired to create the Black Love Experience, because that's what we're talking about here. The name of the event is the Black Love Experience.
Yes. So the Black Love Experience pretty much was, we were open for about 4 months in 2014, and usually it's held in February. So this is the second year that we're doing it in March.
Right.
And at the time I was just like, it was right in the same building as my store. And I was like, I just need to do something. It's February. It's after the holidays. It's kind of slow. So I said, well, let's bring out some of our vendors and then a DJ. We probably had about 4 vendors and a DJ. And the whole idea was just like getting ready for Valentine's Day and then, appreciating Black history.
Right.
And then it started to evolve. So we probably had about maybe 100 people that actually came to that one.
Okay.
And since now that we're in the 6th year, we have over 1,000 people. We have, like this year, about 60 different artists and creatives and panelists being involved. And it's just grown. I think it was in 2016, and Risikat, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in 2016, Risikat actually came on board and she was like, I have ideas.
Oh yeah, Risikat at that joint. I've experienced that before. Okay.
I know she was definitely at the first one and the second one, and it was just like she was like, I have some ideas, and it just kicked it up a whole bunch of notches. And we also have Jason Anderson, who joined us, who does the music curation as well. So he's been on about 3-4 years too.
Okay.
And like the synergy just kind of like evolved, and it continues to grow. So.
Yes. Well, I can vouch, and this is why I definitely wanted to have you all on, is because it's just a great event. It just feels good. The sounds are good. The smells are good. Looking at all the people, they come out and they get dressed up, and we'll talk about sort of like what to expect. But from when I went a few different times, I really was able to connect with some vendors that I still keep in touch with.
Yeah.
I got my belly dancing teacher, Mayasa, from there. I met Adama there. You had like a class. You guys curated a class, and I know Rissy, you probably come up with all these really cool like experiences, breakout sessions between men and women. You separate between men and women. You separate us, and everybody learned something different. But there was this one that really changed the way I think about stuff. It was a breathing exercise, and we were just breathing. I didn't even know the brother, but we were standing like face to face, and we had to breathe kind of like in unity. And I've never experienced anything like that before. I had never been taught that before. So that was just one of the things that was super impactful and long lasting for me to take as a tool for my own toolkit and just think about the breath and think about how important it is to, even if you have a partner, if you have somebody that you can use that technique. And if it brought a lot of peace to everybody in the room, because we all talked about it. It was a little awkward at first, and then it was fine. So Rissy, how do you come up with all this? Like, where do you get this inspiration for all the things that you do? Tell us a little bit about Lil So So, and tell us a little bit about Lil So So and being this cultural architect that you are.
Okay, so I call myself a cultural architect because it's probably the most accurate thing to describe how I move, and I just see myself as part blueprinter, part ancestor worshiper, part herald all the cats together into one room and, lead the orchestra sometimes. And sometimes I'm playing notes, whatever it takes. So whatever it takes to highlight Black culture, that's what I do. I'm specifically concerned with Black aesthetics, particularly global Black aesthetics. So anytime I can bring as many different versions of Blackness into one space, I'm extremely happy about it. And everybody knows I love moving parts. So the more madness that is happening at once, the happier that I am. Yeah. Because I think because culture to me is a marketplace. So anybody who's ever been to a market, an African market, a market in the West Indies, it's madness, but it all works. It all makes sense. Right. So that's part of the reason why, oh my God, I just discovered why I create the way I do. I have a thing for marketplaces. So for Black Love Experience, I think I went the second year. Okay. So I met Anika because she was recommended when I had a radio show. I interviewed her. And one of my besties, Evelyn Bando from Mystic Genius, was like, yeah, you should talk to Anika. So met Anika, interviewed Anika, was like, oh my God, I love her. I want to be her best friend because she's like doing these amazing things. And so I was on the humble. I went the second year. I didn't know about the first year, but the second year I went. And I was like, all right, I got to figure out, how when you play double dutch and you're trying to figure out how to get in the ropes? So I was like, I have to figure out, right. So that was like, okay, I got to figure out how to be part of this because it's amazing. Because I can see places where I could actually help. And I know what it's like to produce. It's a lot of heavy lifting. So when you have other producers who understand that as part of your team, it definitely makes things a little bit easier, especially when you have people who can just execute. So I was like, hey girl, hey. She was like, what up? So I was like, hey, I have ideas. She's like, okay. And then I was invited to one of the team meetings and she hasn't been able to get rid of me ever since. And each year it's different. This year we were talking about theme and I had suggested organic chemistry. I really was thinking about, we've had a lot of issues where people have been trying to erase Black people from the city, from certain, cultural movements, whether we talk about Me Too or whether we're talking about gentrification, there's like this effort to erase us. And we're still here. Like you cannot get rid of Black people no matter how hard you try. And so I was thinking of us in the sense of like building blocks and foundation and earth and matter. And so this year is really about looking at us as like the essence of life. And so the programming is kind of speaking to that. We're looking at branding Black again because we did it, I think, the year before. And I really liked the angle that we took. And so this month is Women's History Month. So we are doing an all-female panel. The moderator is a man, but we have professional Black girl Yaba Blay. We have the sisters from Black Market Vintage. We have, Hue Society. We have a local sister who runs the Spice Suite. She's joining us, Angel, sorry. And then we also have, who did I forget? There's one more person.
Oyen Handmade.
Yeah, okay. Oyen Handmade from Baltimore. So Jamyla Bennu is going to be there. And, you know, it was really about how do these women operate from this space of, you know, women, when we operate from a space of community, like we really operate from a space of community. And so I wanted to honor that, give these women a platform to talk about how they do it. I think that women entrepreneurs have a unique, particularly Black women entrepreneurs, have a unique sensibility and feel a unique responsibility to the communities that they represent. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to see what they had to say. We had already decided that there was a lot happening in the immigrant space. And oftentimes when it comes to immigration, there's this tendency to default to a Latina face as opposed to a Black face, which is also very much prevalent. And so Mercy Chikore and Lloyd George have been, you know, working on being Black and immigrant for a while. Lloyd is actually an immigration lawyer. She's fantastic. I've recommended her in the past. And so they put together a panel for us called True Story of Black and Immigrant. And what was interesting is we had already decided to do this, and then everything happened with 21 Savage. And so it was like, okay, we really are, like I said, everything I do is grounded in the divine. So oftentimes I don't understand why I'm creating what I'm creating. And then it just, you know, something happens. It's like, oh, that's why. So we tend to be, you know, we trust our instincts across the board. And so the programming often is in line with the theme, but it's also the main component is always making sure that people can leave inspired and with a to-do list. Like, what, you know, this is what I can do to either take care of myself, take care of my community, you know, support someone else. And so one of the reasons why I'm excited about this year is that we have a bigger space. And so one of the things we did last year is we did a meditation piece that was the last hour, and it was cute, but it wasn't enough. So this year we have a whole spa.
Right.
So we'll have Black massage therapists and Black women who read cards and tarot and astrology charts. And we also have Amber Mims is joining us. She's going to be doing her sprinkles so you can get your hair wrapped with some rose quartz. Like, it's going to be super dope. So we're adding some elements, but they all fit into this line of the fact that we as Black people, we matter and we are matter.
Absolutely. So for anybody who is new to the whole Black love experience, I see my girl Karma's here. Nisi and Visa from Jersey are in the house. So if you haven't heard of it before, please go to their website. I'm going to give you their website so you can go and check it out, because it is definitely, even the way that they created the website with the sort of like the periodic table, the chart, if that's what it's called, I'm not sure.
Yes.
But it's so dope. And so just bringing those things all together is really, really beautiful. So talk to us about how you talked a little bit about how you pulled different elements in, and how did you like come up with, over the last few years that you've been a part of it, how did you like pick the certain people to create the workshops? And then what made you think to separate the male and the females together? Is that going to be the same thing that's happening this year as well?
We are going to have, we are. Okay. Part of it is I look at what Anika's already planned out. So Anika has a whole host of folks that she's working with in the store. So when you look at, when you go to Nubian Hueman, there are a variety of ways to be Black and fabulous. I mean, there's all kinds of things happening in there. And then once we all agree to a theme, what usually happens is I just kind of go off and mind my business. And I just think about, I also think about the people that I think are amazing that nobody knows about, that people need to know about. Right. So because Anika's essentially she's a platform creator. So when you look at what Nubian Hueman is doing, if you go to Nubian Hueman, oftentimes you are being exposed to people that you've never heard of before, for whatever reason. And so I try to honor that by featuring people that I think also kind of are pretty amazing. Nobody heard of them before. Let's make sure that people find out about them. So initially it's just because I cast a wide net with the people that I know. I knew that, for example, I wanted to bring Amchat Edwards in because he does a lot with energy. He does a lot with yin and yang balance. He's an amazing massage therapist. And I also know that he teaches, but a lot of people don't know that he teaches. So I wanted to kind of highlight that. And, you know, the goal is every 2 or 3 years I switch it up. So like we did Mayasa Like she's been doing it for, you know, she did it for 2 years and she was amazing. Like she was changing lives. And then I was like, okay, let's switch it up and do something different. So, you know, we open it up so that you're always growing. So you're creating a sense of community. So you come back like, oh, I know that face. But then there's some new faces that are mixed in. So like Adama is back, but normally Adama is in a workshop space. This time she's going to be doing astrological readings. So a lot of the people are people that I know. There are people that I've met along the way. So I'll meet people and I'll just keep their name in my pocket and I'll be like, okay, Black love might be good for you at some point. And so that's the beauty of what I get to do is I get to highlight people. So I'm just following Anika's lead. Like when you look at how she operates, that's what she does. And that's what Black love is. It's an opportunity to highlight just how beautiful and how big and how vast the Black community is. And so for me, it's go ahead. No,
well,
go ahead. Finish.
Question. I wanted to know, how did Anika and then you, Rissy, how did you start to, like, did your parents groom you to love yourself as a little Black baby? Or like, how did you get to where you are now, where you're just like unapologetically, you know, convening us and bringing us together and bringing us joy and helping us to know that we need joy in this way?
Go ahead, Nika.
That's a good question. You know, I don't think there was any specific thing that actually happened. I grew up in a home with a lot of pictures, a really big family. So my mom, there's technically 11 of them, but my mom had a lot of siblings. I had a lot of cousins. You know, in my dad's side of the family, we were very, very close because we all lived in the same state. So I think it's just seeing images of myself was something. And, you know, it's like, I'm a child of the 80s and the 90s. And, you know, we saw Black families, right? We saw us going to college. We saw us in some really excellent, that's when, you know, media really, really started to put it forward about loving your Blackness. So I would say definitely somewhere in that time. And then, you know, of course, going to college and you get your Black studies and your African studies, and you just learn about self. I just think that I've always just been around people who love themselves. Even growing up, like back at home in Boston, you know, most of my friends are either first or second generation from various countries. You know, if it's Latin America, if it's the Caribbean, Africa, wherever. Most of my friends, you know, were from somewhere else. So I think it just, when you have that closer connection, right? So you're around people who have closer connection to their roots. There's this, not all the time, but I would say in sometimes there is this, you know, you get to feel connected yourself because you're in that environment. You see it in their family and their language and their food and everything like that. So I think that really helps me a lot to kind of connect to it a little bit more. And I also really think that I would have to say, even just being in DC, like I was in Boston and I was like, I want to be around a lot of Black people.
Right.
So, you know, and my family is mostly in the South. And so I was like, all right, you know, I have a lot of line sisters here, and they were like, you know, DC. So I was like, okay. And it's like, I came for Chocolate City. I came for that, you know? So my biggest thing is like just having this opportunity to revel in it, because, you know, DC is changing. So we've got to love on it. We've got to create it. We've got to hold on to whatever it is we can hold on to. And I would have to say the community that I'm around is just so filled with so much pride of us too, you know? And I mean, I honestly feel like in this time period now, when you see just the excellence and everything that is happening around us, especially Black folks, you gotta you know you're blessed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
Blessed. You know you have spirit. So it's just like, revel in that, you know, use this lifetime to just love and take advantage of that. And so I think that's why I really go hard for it. I really go hard for it. Like, I think it's such a blessing to have all this melanin, you know? So
it is. It totally is. And I love your space. And I'm going to have you talk about that a little bit, about how you even curate your space and the ideas that you come up with. But I'd like to hear Rissy's point of view, or Risikat's point of view, on how, you know, did you always just love your beautiful Black self, or did that take some work?
That was some work. I Yeah, that was some work. I'm Nigerian American, so having immigrant parents and then growing up initially born in DC, but then at some point growing up in Miami, there are a lot of politics in the South that you don't really understand if you're not from the South. So colorism was a huge thing with me growing up, and not having parents who understood the history of colorism. So my mother's response was always like, so what, they call you black? We're all black. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And she couldn't process, because she didn't understand the history. We didn't know to be offended when I was told I should marry a light-skinned man to have brown babies. But somehow I knew it was offensive. I just didn't know why it was offensive. So it was hard. It was definitely hard, because Black kids were rough growing up. I had a few friends, but the cool thing about Miami is that you get a huge West Indian, Haitian population, Puerto Rican population. So a lot of my friends were also first gen in some cases. And the few Black American friends that I had were just like, we were all band nerds. So it worked, but it could be lonely. Trust. I didn't play an instrument. I was a dancer, for the record.
Okay.
I twirled the flag. I was awesome. First Black captain.
We call them silks. We didn't call them flags.
See, okay, well, here's the thing, Pete Game. So where I was from, we had the silks, and the silks were always the Black girls, and they were in the back. And then there were the flag girls who were always white and in the front. So I was a flag girl, the only one for a while.
Okay.
Yes. I do what I can.
Right. Okay. Well, I love that. And, I'm thinking even for myself, I think that the colonialism and the centering of whiteness being better than everybody is just all over. Because I grew up in the North, and we had the same thing. My sister is more chocolate than I was, and even the kids on the block used to call her Blackie, and I was honky. So, it's just that I'm glad that we are breaking away from that, and we know better now. We know who we are. It's still a process. I'm still a work in process with getting to love myself more. But the more I learn about my people, the more I learn about myself and the history, and then how I can be the next edition of a good ancestor, it gets even better. So I love the fact that we have all of these different things still going on here in Chocolate City, because I moved here when it was just chocolatey enough, and now whatever. So I'm so grateful to you all and to the other people who still hold things to make us feel good, like a Erica Totten. She does Black Joy Sundays, and just other people who are still understanding that we need this. And part of what I wanted to share also, just always talking about health, is that this is healthy for us. It is healthy for us to have people who have created something so beautiful and welcoming and familiar to us, maybe to our spirits, and then just straight up fun. It don't even always have to be that deep. We should just be able to have fun when we go and hear the music that we want, and not be have our spaces land grabbed by some drunk people that come into the space and don't even care that you standing and just come and stand right in front of you and fling their hair in front of your face.
You talking about white people? Call it what it is. Yes.
We won't be having any of that there. So I would just suggest that anybody who is in the DMV, or anybody who wants to travel down or travel up, consider coming. You still have enough time, which is why I wanted to do this early enough for you to look at the website, for you to look at their Instagram page, for you to look at some of the people that they have coming. So share with us some of the, and I'm going to put the website up, share with us so it's music, it's fashion, it's food, it's workshops, it's all those things. Talk to us about some of the things that people can expect in as much detail as you want, of who's coming, who's going to be singing, and all those kinds of things.
So on the main stage, we're really excited to have Mumu Fresh.
Mumu Fresh.
So Amuna Youssef, who just did Black Girls Rock. She's actually done the Black Love Experience for us about maybe 4 years, 3-4 years ago, but we have her back again as the host. for the
Yeah.
main stage, which is really cool. We're in DC, so we had to do Junkyard. We had to get Junkyard Band and get that go-go.
Yeah.
We also have Black Alley as well. XO+yU of Diamond District is also going to be performing also. And they're all on the main stage. And then we have comedy. So we have Hilarious Omar, because we wanted, Joy was like really, really at the forefront. So we have Hilarious Omar, who will be performing as well. And that's kind of like some of the stuff that's happening downstairs. We have also Naima Sandi. She's also going to be doing a performance art with Holly Bass and a couple of other creatives as well. And I actually think this is the first time that we're having like performance art. I think it's the first time this way. So this is a great turning point for us. And then upstairs we have, let me see, we have couches. So Dope Society, which is actually now, they used to be in the DC area, but now they're based in New Orleans. So they have, I believe it's a quarterly event. It's called Couches. So it's just like a really nice chill vibe. So downstairs is kind of like hyped up. And then upstairs is going to be more of kind of like that chill vibe. So they're going to have couches, which is pretty much just going to be a room with like it's in the gorgeous ballet room, which is so exciting too. So like sofas, low sofas, pillows on the floor, rugs, lamps, and it's just like a really chill vibe. And Deborah, Ron is actually going to be performing up there, which is really exciting. Kingsley Ibenechi, who's from New Jersey, he's a singer. And then we have the Mixxtress, who's also based out here. So she's going to be DJing and hosting. And then, of course, we have Kat's workshops as well. So she's, all the wellness there. So, we're talking about yoni health and wellness. Like she said, there's going to be massage, astrological readings, tarot readings, tantra workshop. Yes, tantra.
I'm about to sign up.
Yeah.
It's been on my radar for a minute, so perfect. Thanks, Rissy.
It's what I do.
There'll be workshops on touch. So just, learning how to welcome touch, properly. And so then there's more so like get your spirit right. Like Kat has that. There's also going to be Art Reach is also doing some art journaling as well. And there's so much. There's also going to be an art installation by Charles Jean-Pierre. So it's this beautiful 3D image of Black woman and matter, the beginning of earth and time and everything. So it's a really beautiful art piece. Kat is also with Hydea Williams curating the Black Joy Lab.
Yes.
And that's with Jamyla Bennu too. I don't want to give it away because it's so fly. It is so fly, like it's fly. But it's this mix of joy and science, and you get a takeaway, and it's so fly. Like,
I'm excited. Now, Kat is the throne. I'm gonna be there because I think I need a do-over on my picture.
Wow. So
oh no.
I understand. But anybody who watches The Incredibles, Edna, the designer, I never look back. That's kind of where I am with it. So I'm Edna. And so I love the Crowns and Thrones was amazing. It by far is it's probably one of, outside of When Harlem Came to Paris, one of my most favorite installation curation projects.
Tell us what it was for the people who
don't. Last year was the year of the Black Panther. And so we decided to really kind of highlight Afrofuturism and infuse it up and through the whole space. And so I, as a Nigerian who studies African-American literature and who studied African history and majored in it, one of the things I think is most problematic is when people say we were all kings and queens. I think that there's an over romanticization of how Africa worked back then. And so I wanted to challenge that idea of what it means to be royalty. And I wanted to create a situation where if you were to take the throne, what would that look like? And so I asked both Charles Jean-Pierre and Hydea Williams to partner with me. and they created these 2 thrones that we set up in 2 parts of the space. And Hadia's throne, because of the way we work together, I ended up creating a piece as a backdrop, which was really sort of a nod to the ancestors. And it was really important to me to get people to understand the responsibility that comes with that. So both of the thrones were on different platforms, but the one that Hadia did, we actually raised it like 4 feet off the ground. So you had to work to get up there. Yeah. And what was interesting was to watch people go from, oh, this is really cute, I want to take my picture, to, oh my God, I got to actually get up here and like assume this position. And watching Black people sort of transform into what royalty felt like and looked like to them it was really moving for me. Like, you know, my goal is always to get people to remember who they are, remember where they come from. And so that royalty piece, I think it was in us. We don't have to wear crowns all the damn time. That's not necessary. But that was really my way of challenging that notion of royalty and challenging that idea of what that could look like. And we probably need to put a link back to that photo booth, because the shots were amazing. And as you can see, we incorporated them into this year's graphics.
Marketing. For those of you who are going to the website, because you should be there now, you should be going to blackloveexperience.com. That's one of the first images you see a sister with a beautiful crown. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. The line was long to experience it. So
Hadia handmade all the crowns. We lost a couple in the fight, but Hadia made all the crowns, and it was beautiful. I mean, the brother that's featured in the marketing materials. I remember when I first saw that picture, I was like, wow, you know. So watching people change, and there was one brother who was like, you know, when you get up there, you realize how serious it is to sit in that chair. He's like, I just felt different. And that was kind of cool. So that's what we want. The Black Joy Lab is hopefully going to create a similar reaction or response. And it kind of speaks to my love of things that smell nice and the idea of self-preservation. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about it.
Yes. And I, for anybody who listens to my The Sanctuary radio show, I always shout Kat out, because she's the one who pushed me to think past, just by speaking to her, to push past the self-care and into self-preservation. And I have really been having to employ that recently, even more, and realizing how important it is for me to create spaces, one, because we can all create them, but then also support those who are creating spaces where I feel good. Because I want to feel good, because when you feel good, you vibrate at a certain level and you attract more of that. I'm trying to attract all the most wonderful, beautiful things. Mm-hmm. And when those valleys come, I'll learn the tools to be able to navigate that and then go back up to feeling good. And that helps with being around people who make you feel good, and hearing music. Music is something also that helps you vibrate high. So just hearing the drums a few years ago and just seeing all the action, everybody packed up tight in that little hallway there. You know, you sitting in the black box, and people keep opening the door, and they realize that there's a session going on, and they got to close the door back right quick. I mean, it was just always just little nuances and little things that were happening that were so cool. So I won't keep you any longer. If you both have like some last words you'd like to share, the link is here. Get your tickets. Go on Instagram. It's Black Love Experience. So it's not because I was typing in and that didn't come up. And then the hashtag is Black Love DC. Yep. On Instagram and probably other places too. But do you have any last words to share before we end?
Yeah, I would just say prepare to be changed. I mean, the Black Love Experience, like you said, Wendy, I mean, it's just an opportunity for us to connect, to vibe. And I think it just takes you to another place. The people that you meet, the energy you feel. I think, and I know all of this could not happen with the dope team that I have. Everybody works super hard to make Black love happen. Like, there's a lot of love and passion behind the Black Love Experience. So if you love your Blackness, you want to revel in it, I mean, it's just an amazing night. And we're working on something on the next day too, so it's definitely worth it. Will be announced soon.
Okay.
But we have some really good partners with Eaton Workshop and Eaton Hotel. So that will be announced. But yeah, it's just a really amazing night. And I just, want to thank my team also for just believing in the vision and working through it. So it's a really amazing night. Go to blackloveexperience.com. Get your tickets. Tell a friend, get your tickets, because honestly, tickets go up the day of, but usually they sell out. So get your tickets now while you can.
Yes.
I just wanted to remind everyone that it takes a lot to pull this off. And as someone who's been producing for quite some time, there's nothing more life-giving than to see the baby birthed out into the world. But I think people should really understand that this is like, pieces of our lives have been lost in trying to pull this together. Like, nobody's sleeping. My brain is about to explode. Everyone is really dedicating a lot of their time and energy to make sure that we make Black people feel as comfortable as possible.
Right.
And so there is everything from the extrovert to the introvert to the empath can come and find a space. Like, there is going to be a quiet space for meditation with headphones if you just want to be away from it all. You can get a massage and you can get a reading. And we're making things priced in a way that really helps, which fairly, awards the practitioner, but at the same time brings value to the person that's on the receiving end of it. It's important that we support these kinds of endeavors because they are trying to erase us. They really are. And so it is very important that if you love Black people and you want to support, Black people, even if you can't come, just buy a ticket and gift it to someone. What we really want is for as many people to see this as possible. But we also want everyone to know this is a safe space for Black people. That's what this is. First and foremost, this is a safe space for Black people. So if you are not Black and you are coming, you need to understand it is about Black people. Mm-hmm. And I want to be clear on that because there have been some folks who are like, oh, I want to come. Like, as long as you understand, this is about Blackness and us being able to honor and sit in that. And so don't ask no silly questions and don't do no dumb stuff. Just be respectful. And, do whatever and support it. We're keeping it in Anacostia. We moved it from Anacostia Arts Center because it was just too small. It's gotten that big. And we're moving it, and it's now at the ARC. So we're gonna have more space. People can breathe a little. I'm so proud of this team. I'm so proud to be part of this. So honored, and so glad that Anika let me in because I was gunning. Because it's a powerful thing. It's such a powerful thing to be a part of, and I'm really just looking forward to people coming and just enjoying themselves and really, really understanding that all of your dollars are supporting Black people. Because that's the other thing that I don't think people realize. This event, from an economic standpoint, generates a great deal for the Black community.
Right.
So, when you're buying that piece of crystal, or you're supporting that sister who made that skirt, like, you are literally feeding a community with your dollars. And I think that's the thing that I'm really, really proud of. So, Killer Mike couldn't get through 3 days without, passing out, trying to find Black people to support. And here we are. And Anika's figured out a way to bring us all into one space. So all you got to do is come in, and every dollar you spend will be supporting a Black endeavor. So I think it's fantastic. And I just want people to know about it and to buy their tickets.
Buy your tickets. So this is Kat and Anika coming from the outside, looking in. I am so proud of you all. You have done exactly what you have set out to do. And I know it's going to be even more bomb. And then I'm trying to get up in that joy room. I'm going to be late because I have a training, but I'm going to come and I'm going to elbow my way in there. Because
cool.
You really have done what you set out to do. We always feel good when we leave. I'll speak for me. I always feel great when I leave, and which is why I wanted to have you on the show. I know you guys are running 50 miles per hour, as am I, but I thought it was important to take a little bit of time just to share with people who might follow me, who've never heard of it, to definitely come. So for you all who are watching, who have never heard of it, if you're in the DC area or near and just want to come, you have time. Get your tickets. Black Love Experience. It will be something that you have never experienced before. And it's just to have fun. If you're just tired of, you got to like do that code switching and all that. Ain't no code switching at the Black Love Experience. You can just be yourself. So I can't wait till my child gets old enough to be able to flow at the Black Love Experience. soon as she hits that age, she's going to be there too, because I love giving her these experiences at a young age, because I did not have that. Yeah. I did not have nobody doing no Black love experience in Tenton Falls, New Jersey at the Jersey Shore. I would. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Your self-care to take care of yourselves, because we need you all. We need y'all. So self-preservation, Rissy. Self-preservation, Nika. And I love you girls. And I look forward to seeing you on the 23rd.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
Thank you. Yes. Thank
all right.
you.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye. Peace.